Hello and welcome to a new episode of Remote Pair Programming. I have Khaled with me, and today we're gonna try something that Kent Beck invented, I think 2 years ago, and it's called TCR, meaning Test, Commit and Revert. And Khaled tried it before, so please tell me why would you like us to do this, and maybe say a few words about yourself as well.
Yeah, so I'm Khaled. I'm a consultant. I'm usually coaching in TDS in graphic software practice. And today we're gonna try to use the version of TCR. So it's going to be about testing, so creating your test, creating your production code, and try to run it. If it is working, we commit it. If it doesn't work, we revert it.
Mm-hmm. So to see a bit about what Kent Beck is doing, I'm going to put now on the screen the one article from Medium. And he's explaining that what we want to do is to try to write both the production code and the test code, and that's like the test part. And if it's all working, then we're gonna commit. If something's wrong, we're gonna revert both the test and the production code.
Yeah, that's right. Let's say yes, he's doing in that way something else. If he is trying to refactor after getting the test passing, also we can talk about the phase of refactoring. So if something went wrong in that second phase that we call refactoring, we're gonna revert also. So
yeah. So we can always refactor and commit. That's true.
Yeah. The only, let me be frank with you, the only fear that I have using TCR in that way is you can try like for example to try to add a test, only a test that you know that is passing. So you can always commit that. So usually, so you can add only tests that they pass your production code. Mm-hmm. That's the fear that I have usually when we are using TCR. So really to be usually be careful about that, because we can if we are only adding testing code and it is passing, there is something missing. We need ways to have the two things doing that. So we need the production the test that can fail if we don't have the production code, and the production code to make the test pass.
So if anyone wants to see more, I'm gonna put this link in the description, but we're gonna go and try it out in this initial original phase, because people tried it out in different ways as well. You did as well, right?
Yeah, actually I did it like 4 months ago, something like that. I've been with my colleague of mine in a legacy code that we were mandated to refactor it. So we tried. Let's see. I think we tried something that is really different. We created. We tried something with 2 phases. One that we call the red phase, and in that phase we create the test, and we try to check if it fails or not. If it doesn't fail, so we revert, because we are in the phase that we are creating the test, the red phase. So after we are satisfied about the test, we change the phase to what we call a green phase. In the green phase, we try to make the test pass. If the test doesn't passed, we revert our production code. And then when we pass the test, we can stay in the green phase doing a refactoring if we'd like to do. If we refactor and it doesn't work, revert it. If it does work, we go.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing also about that we try it with Git. So when I'm talking about the rate phase, it's only a commit, so it's going to be a commit locally. But when we pass the test, when we are in the green phase, every time everything passes, we push it. Mm-hmm. It can be the conclusion that we have. It can be good when we are two people for the continuous inventory, because every time something passes, you already push it to the repository. But the thing is, the history, it can be kind of weird because so many commits.
Okay, so but still, I think you can stash commits after that, right? You can repaste them if you want.
Yeah, you're right. That's the thing that we didn't think about it at that time, but I think mostly it should be maybe in another branch or something like that. Mm-hmm. And when you finish everything, like you said, you squash your commit, you reorganize your history before merging it. Mm-hmm. It can be more clean.
Yeah, it can be something like a daily branch or something like that, and at the end of the day you make sure that you kill that daily branch and you put everything in a nicer way in the main branch.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing also, if you are alone working in your branch or in your feature, you can do that. But if you are two people working in the same branch, it can be complicated to reorganize the history sometimes.
Yeah, I think you can get the branch from one another, so not like making a direct link and getting that branch. So synchronize in between the people who are working. Of course, the more people there are, the more difficult it is, the more complex it is, and it probably doesn't work when you have more than 3 people. But if it's just a few people, I think it can work.
Yes. Actually, you do that, you need to review your branching model. Mm-hmm. So if you are using a trunk-based development model, this can be complicated, like you said, with more than 3 people.
Yeah.
But the best solution to do that, in my opinion, is using different branches, and then, like you said, merging maybe at the end of the day, mm-hmm. after you squash your commit or all your stuff. But also, it shouldn't be a long-term feature branches, because if we do that, we can lose.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be, because it can become extremely difficult after a while. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We want to use this Potter kata that I'm showing now on the screen from the codingdojo.org. The Potter kata is a kata that it's kind of fairly simple. You need to find the price of books, and you have 5 books in the kata, in the Potter collection, and you have different discounts for depending on how many books you take from this collection. And there are also some examples here of tests that you can try. I think that the idea is every time you buy a book, you have 5% more, right? So if you buy 2 books, you have 5%. If you have 3 books, you have 10%. Oh, if you have 4 books, you have 20%. And if you have 5 books, you have 25% discount.
Yeah, it's the thing is the discount is applied always when you have different books. So if you have the same copy, you don't apply
Yeah,
the discount.
exactly. So if you have 7 books of the first one from the collection, it doesn't matter, you just pay the full price. So you need to take care that you apply the discount just for the books from the collection and not for anything else. Okay, so we have this, and I have set up the simple repository with JUnit and a simple test. So let's try to do this Potter kata with TCR. So you've done this before. I think I've done this before, but I didn't used to call it TCR. I just used to call it taking baby steps, and maybe with a few ideas from
Constraint.
Yeah, the constraints from Keith Braithwaite to TDD as if you meant it, where you need to write the production code in the same test method as the test code. So let's see how this will look. So I'm gonna try to write, and you'll guide me because you have more experience with doing this. TCR. So what should we start with?
Let's with a think of one book. So the test we're gonna buy the first edition or the first book. We're gonna buy the first book, one book from the.
So it should be something like buying just one book.
Buying one
book will have no discount, right? If I remember well, just going back to the kata, there were some prices here.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's 8.
Yeah, right.
8 something.
It's 8, I think, from the book.
Yes. So what should I write? Guide me a bit.
Yeah. Let's say, let's put it simple. It's gonna be a function that we're gonna give it like I don't know, a table or something like that, or an array list.
So
and in that array list we're gonna on that
So you'd like something like buy, a function like buy, and give it a
function
table,
an array maybe.
Okay, and so what
in that array we're gonna put the number of the books. So we are buying the one book, and let's say it's the first volume, so it's gonna be 1.
Oh no. So
it's gonna be an array list with 1 that is named 1.
So an array list that should contain was like that. Like that?
Yeah.
Is this what you want?
It can be the we need to create the function, so that's why it's.
So I have the function, okay.
So to put it simple, the buy function it's gonna return the price.
Okay, so here I return something that's the price.
Float or double or something like that.
Let's put double. Okay, so then this is the price.
Okay. And then we're gonna verify that the price it should be 8.
Okay, so I would expect that 8 would be the price. Oops. So let's put equals.
I think equals.
Oh no, come on. Yes.
So, okay, so the simplest way is really faking it, maybe, on this first one.
So in TCR, would you run this test now, or would you just wait for it?
Yeah, that's the different. That's what is different with T. Now, if we run it, we know that it's gonna fail, so we're gonna revert it. So that's why, and that's also why I'm not. Let's say I'm not against it, but it's kind of weird in my head because we're doing two things in the same time. Because we are trying to create the test, also make it pass.
So if I do this,
I hope it's gonna work.
Yeah, it works.
If it doesn't, yeah, okay. So we're lucky it does work.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have the first test.
So
what now?
So the second one, what now? You're right. Let's try to keep it simple. We're gonna add another book without a discount.
So we buy two of the
another
books.
Copy of.
So I do this.
Book, yes. So,
but it's just.
Need to use use it as list.
Okay.
So it should be
16.
Let's say 16. Yes. And in
so this
case,
is buying two books
with no discount.
So buying two identical books.
Yes, two identical books, you're right.
Will have no discount. Okay, so now we need to change this as well. Can I still hack it?
Yeah, you're right. You can do, yeah. That's fine. I think that's the best day to do it when you, because I think that's the thing about TCR. We don't take risks. So because if you take a risk, you revert everything. So that's a good way to stay on the safe side.
Yeah, it's interesting. So let's run this again. Well, what did I do? Yeah. Does that count?
I think it's count.
Because it's weird. Okay, let's commit because we didn't. We should have committed.
Yeah, you're right.
Added two tests. Buying one book and buying, come on, buying two identical books.
You know what? It reminds me of something. When you've been using TCR, the thing that we did is like, don't run specifically the test. We are running the script that's gonna run the test, and if it fails, like a script shell or something like that, or PowerShell or something like that. So we don't really, we didn't do this action manually. So when we run the test, we don't run the test, we run that script, and that script is on the test. And if something gone wrong, it's gonna revert it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you are using TCR, it can be simpler to automate that phase, so you don't care about doing that every time.
Yeah, I think we had that some a few years back during a code retreat. Someone wrote a script like that, where it would revert everything if the tests were failing. So and would commit everything if the new code was good. So I tried that as well, but it was a longer time ago. I think 5 years ago or something like that.
But I agree with me. It's gonna be when you are really in a big project that you are working, it's gonna be these kind of scripts to make the things more smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Because
Sorry.
okay, so the next thing, yeah, that's fine. We can go ahead. So let's try with the discount of 5%.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are talking about the discount of 5%, so we need 2 different books actually.
So I buy
At least. So
2 books.
1 and 2. Yeah.
And I would expect that the price is discounted with 5%, right?
Yeah.
So that's 5% from 16, whatever it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how much is that?
Yeah, let me be frank with you. Usually when I'm doing that, there is a different way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We try to calculate the 95% of 16s.
Yeah.
Or we try to 16 multiplied by 0.95.
Yeah.
I'm using the second one because it's revealing the intention.
Mm-hmm.
So the people, they see that I don't care really about the result, but I care mostly about should behave.
Okay. So now this becomes a bit more complicated, because
yeah,
if we have the book size,
I think it's not. It's gonna fail if you do it that way.
yes,
so we
exactly.
need to check if the books they are different.
But if books
get 0, I think.
Let's hack it all the way.
You're right. Equals the
so if we'll have the first one identical to the second one, then again we're gonna have 16. Some people like angular brackets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so else it can be else or something, or only returning.
Yeah, then I'll return
16 multiplied
this.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Are we confident that this will work?
I don't think it's gonna work because we are using integers, so we need maybe to use equals. So that's why I think IDE is really
so we're using
complaining about that.
Integers where?
No, you're right. It's gonna work. But I didn't think about the auto boxing, so
yeah, because it looks at double, and I think it does this.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Let's see.
Let's see. Let's try it.
There we go. It's green. So this is buying. to different books will have a 5% discount.
You know what? I discovered something that in what you do right now. The thing is, when you try to pass, you try to pass it as fast as possible. And then you say, okay, now it's passing, so I'm gonna rename it, maybe do some cool stuff and everything. So what I've seen in this phase, you are focusing on making it pass. You don't bother about the details of maybe naming it or maybe naming the test itself.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I typically do. No, never minding TCR or not TCR, because it's a 2-line test. Okay, it's just this.
Yeah.
So having very small tests makes you have this luxury.
Right.
And
but the thing is,
yeah,
go ahead.
I think that it's also the idea that if something goes wrong, I don't want to put the effort into writing that. I'm being lazy.
Yeah. No, that's being a lazy developer. It's fine. Being a lazy brain is something that we shouldn't do as a developers. But I think it's a good way to put it. I'm also lazy, so when I'm doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
it passing.
Yeah, would this be a moment to refactor, or should we add more tests?
Yeah. That's what I would try to ask. Maybe we can refactor it, but I'm not sure how.
Like, I don't know, putting better logic than this crap here at 41.
Yeah, let's right now. Yeah, you're right. We had some kind of 2 levels, so we can split in a simpler way. So if you are talking about the book size, and they should be identical in turn 16. So the thing that we can do to refactor, and then like you said, removing the scrap and maybe making something more understandable and more elegant. We are talking about it, if we are talking about the design of it. So.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's really about TCR, the fear that maybe something wrong, gonna go back.
So does this apply to refactoring?
Now I think we stay confident we can. Yeah, this applies also refactoring. But the thing is, so let me be frank with you. I'm always, when I'm talking about refactoring, I'm talking about what we do right now, extracting variables, extracting rows, or something like that. But the thing is, what TCR, when you do a redesign, and the thing that we are already refactored everything, and you've seen that maybe you get some design that is starting to emerge. It can be hard to do TCR because it's gonna give you the constraint that if it is not right, revert everything. So you need really to be sure about the new design that you're gonna put it, the design that emerges.
That's interesting, but I typically try to do that also in kind of very small steps, so that I have a flow and I don't block myself into things. If I take big steps. Right.
I think I get your point. The thing is, when I'm usually think is how much time it's gonna take. It's always the question that always I'm asking myself. It's gonna take, if it's gonna take more than, let's say, 5 minutes, that's something weird that it can be. I'm sure it's gonna fail at some point.
Yeah. And
so yeah, we can do it in small steps, and I agree with you. It should be really in really small steps, so we are sure about what we are doing.
A funny thing is that if we write now a test, with just buying, oh no, that works. Yeah, it works because it's here too. Yeah, we're covered. So add more test, refactor. What would you do?
Let's refactor, because it's gonna starting to be from there.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to extract this one into something that, what does this say? It says that we have the same book, right?
Or we have yeah, it can be that way.
Something like this, if same book.
We can do it in that way.
So that's the intention, right? And then
yeah,
and then we can try to make this nicer.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've been thinking about. So it can be a function or something like that.
Yeah, I can extract this in a function as well. It's not a, I just wanted to put it as a variable in the beginning to see what it is, what it looks like. But yeah, I could extract this in a function. And
yeah, I understand what you mean. So have same books, or maybe same book.
How would you write this?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay.
I don't know how to write this. I don't. For me, it's a bit too soon to refactor this, but so I'd need your help. How to do this?
Okay. That's not what I was thinking, actually.
Well, please tell me. Tell me, because
okay, go back. Okay, so go back to how it was.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Great. Tell me.
Okay, so actually what I'm gonna start with is removing the two levels of if brackets.
So what should I do?
Kind of, yeah, and
so put this.
Yes, and we'll get 0. Yeah.
So put this, right?
Okay.
And then return 16. And then what do I do the other one?
Go ahead, close the brackets right now. Please.
Yes.
Close it. Okay, so there's something weird. We missed maybe something. Then yes. Book size 2, and we get 2 different books.
So would you like to do it like that, or do you want to add something as a condition?
Yeah, I'd like to add the books but getting 0 different from books that get 1. Okay. I think that's good. It should be. So let's check it running. I know that it's working, but that's fine. We can run it and try to see what it's gonna show us.
It's good.
So that's good. Okay. Okay. check. I think that's all. At the moment, I can do more stuff than that.
Okay. So
it's really a small refactoring, like you said. It's only to removing the levels on that. That's all.
Remove the levels of conditionals.
Conditions
from the by method. Okay. What next?
So the next is going to be really uglier because we're going to add, I think, a new discount. So it's going to be a 10% discount. So buying 3 different books.
So I'm going to do the same here, but I'm going to have book 1, 2, and 3. And then the price should be 24, but the discount is 10%, right?
Right. So how are we gonna do it?
Well, the same.
That's yeah, with the same. So right.
If it's I have 3, then I'd return 24 multiplied with
okay.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, so we should rename the test like you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. So, buying 3 different books will have 10% discount.
Okay. So
doing a commit. What next?
Yeah, so actually I got too fast. maybe we should stay with the 5% and maybe add. I'm not sure about that.
So
yeah.
You'd like to triangulate more on this idea with 5%.
Yeah.
We can add another test, I think.
Let's. Yeah, you're right. So, and that's also the cool stuff about what is really that we can see that TCR, TDD, they are really doing the same stuff, because usually in TDD, even if you too fast, if the test works, that's fine. You can go back, maybe add a few tests in another condition or something like that. So that's really that's when I see that they do the same stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
If you go further but the test is passing, that's fine. Okay, in this test we're gonna add buying 3 books with 2 difference. So really,
so it's something
1, 2,
like
and 2, or maybe 1 and 2,
like this
1.
1 to 1. Okay.
Yeah. So in this case we're gonna have 5%,
but just
discount.
It's 5% from all the
go ahead.
Books, or just 5% from 2 of them?
I'm not sure. I think it's 5% for 2 of them.
So should it be something like 8 plus?
Yes, 8 plus 16 multiplied by 0.95. I think it should be something like that.
Oh, if we go back to the Potter kata.
Yeah, let's check. To copy the first book. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I think you have it in the example that is just before the close.
So here, the suggested test cases, you mean?
No, go before that. Go just before also the close.
Okay, this one.
That's the thing when you're talking. So every set of books is gonna have applied a discount on it.
Yeah, so if I have 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna have a discount, but if I have 1, 2, 3 and then 1, 2, I have a discount of 15% for the set 1, 2, 3 and a 5% discount on the set 1, 2.
Yeah, correct.
So now here in this case, because I have just one book, I don't have any discount, but I have 5% discount because I have the set 1, 2. Good.
So we can add the test.
So the book size, I have 3. And it becomes complicated.
Yeah, that's the thing is, why I'm thinking to going back? Because I know it's gonna be the same pattern for all the types of discount after that. So that's why I go back and I try to go back so we can focus on the 5% discount, because I know it's gonna be almost the same pattern for the others.
Okay, so am I going on the right direction?
Yeah, I think you're going right. So it's gonna be the same. So get 0 different from .get 1 for the moment.
So if it's different, yeah, but it's not really like that, because I need another condition.
Yeah, I know. Books get
so
0 equals the one that's
0 should. Yeah. So 0 is different than
that in the third. The one in the third position. So let's try to make it pass.
Okay. So then I should return something like.
Yes. 16 multiplied 9.
Okay. Let's see. Looks good?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Okay. So I'd like your feedback. Right now, we are only following what I'm trying to say. So what do you think right now? What do you think what we do right now?
It's a bit silly. But I think that we're going in a bit in a good direction. What I try typically to do is to put pressure on the production code from different areas so that it forces me to refactor the production code in such a way that I stop having this silly naive code like what we're doing here. So I think it's good to keep going on 3 books, like 3 books where you have 2 the same, you have 2 that aren't the same, and then even like changing the order, because you put 1 2 1, but you could put 1 1 2 and so on. So that pushes you in a way to have good production code rather than just hacking it out.
Yeah, you're right. So the thing is, so that's why I think we are on the same page, because the thing is, that's why I was focusing on only the 5% discount, because we will try different ways, maybe like you said, changing the order or something like that, so we can trying to immerse the design that should be for the 5% discount. And so that's why I was asking you, actually, because I was not sure about that. And also that's the kind of stuff also when you got someone who is doing only the coding, and another one who is telling him almost what he should do. Usually in pair programming, I think at some point you need always to switch, so nobody's getting frustrated, or and also you can see a different way to do it.
Yeah.
Actually, right now we can do it because we are doing a remote pair programming. But yeah, but in real life, it's really interesting to do that. Usually, that's why I'd like to ask you, when you are pairing with someone, independently of TCR or TDD or all the stuff, how do you do it in day when you are working? Are you trying to do a ping pong TDD or TCR or something like that, or you like always the way that you drive somebody, or somebody is driving you?
Well, I think it's very different depending on the context. When I pair with people who are extremely knowledgeable, I try to be balanced and try just to guide them to what they know they can do, so just to give them trust that we're in a good path. So I'm more like there's this book called Training from the Back of the Room. So I'm more like guidance. I'm not saying too much. I'm just trying to point out things, or maybe trying to clarify things, or spot missed things that my pair didn't see. So I'm not trying to be that intrusive. When I'm doing stuff that's a bit more difficult, I try to take the lead and show how to do things. If I see that the other person is struggling, I do more, and then I go back. I do more, and then I go back. So this is more like training approach, where I just I show one, look, this is how I do it, then you try and do it. I'm guiding you, but I'm not doing it. Then maybe I show another one again when Revert is difficult, and then I try to go back more and more, and just to go back to that guidance spot. When there is a group that I pair with, I tried more to be like in mob programming, or in this idea of strong style pairing, where I tell them what they should do in order to get somewhere, and then we discuss about that particular solution at the end. It varies a lot, I think. I think strong style is very useful when you have something very specific, particular to do and to say, while other times it's very good to be how I had a session with Ferdinando Santa Croce, and he called it elastic pair programming. So to be elastic, I think with people who have been doing the same thing for a long time, I think, or team members who have worked together for a long time, I think it's a lot better to be elastic. Like, let me do this now. I'll get the keyboard. Then, okay, I'm gonna do the next one. So elastic means every member of the team or of the pair can take the keyboard now and try it out for a while. And I think that's the measure of seniority as being working in pair programming. How elastic you can be. So it varies a lot in the context. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. Also, let me be frank with you. I've done some few missions that I was coaching, good practice and all the stuff. I agree with you in something that I think it depends on the context. That's we agree about. But also, if I'm trying to teach somebody, usually, like you said, I only took the keyboard only to show people like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then after that I'm trying to drive them and make them use the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to a mandate, like a mandate of 1 month of refactoring code and everything, what I do usually is the first session, like the first day, the first 2 days, I took somebody that we call a dungeon master, the one that knows the legacy well. And then I will try to let him tell me how he works every day. So I try to do his work, but in the same time, I'm only not thinking. I'm only taking all what he do usually. And then from there, I can give him feedback after 1 day or 2 days. I'm always taking like 1 or 2 days of observation in a team or on somebody, so I can get him the best feedback that I can give him. So, because usually when you are outside and you look only to the code, you don't know the context, you don't know how that person is working, and the thing is also is making their work better. So maybe they have different way of doing things.
Yeah.
Like in crafting software, there is no one solution. There are always multiple solutions, and also there are different way of seeing things. So usually, I show them the tools that they can use. TDD is one tool, TCR is one tool, and from there, I can see what they're gonna react to that tool. And that's really interesting, because sometimes you're gonna get really a good surprise, because you're gonna learn something from them when you teach them that stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So I think you need to be very open with these things and don't come as a savior who knows everything, as God on earth that now came and you touch things and everything will work fine. Because truth is that we all have our limitations, and as you said, the persons working in the system will know a lot more, and everything is often a very complex system, and you need to understand bits and pieces where some things are, why they are. So, and don't be judgmental, I guess. That's very important. So don't try not to judge. Why is this crap here?
It's remind me of something. Usually when I start the coaching stuff, there are something that you can find it in the internet, what is called the 10 commandments of the egoless developers. So every time I start the coaching, I show them that. So the first sentence is, you are not your code. The code is you in a context with different constraints. That's the code. That's the result. So when you do that, everybody, they're gonna listen to you after that, because they know you are not judging them. You are only judging that code in that moment. And that's really helpful when you do that.
It's true. It's a very sane advice, to do that.
So we should continue.
Yeah. So let's get back to coding.
Yeah. Right.
So I think we're doing all these silly
Steps. Yeah.
steps. What I was saying, to vary a bit the input, I would maybe do the same test, but do something like this.
Yeah.
So just put a silly word at the end. So if I'd run this just to make a point, this should fail.
Yeah, right.
You see? So following TCR, I should revert.
Yeah, you should revert the test. So that's why.
And then that's the idea of trying to iterate, to triangulate on that part of code, because it's clear that well, something's wrong. Well, I get back. I didn't commit this name of the test. So buying two sets of books. So, or no, how to call that?
Buying three books that will have 5% discount.
But only two of them will have 5% discount.
You're right. Buying 3 books that will have 5% discount for 2 books.
Will have 5% discount for 2 books. Okay. So if I go back here, anyway, my initial test name wasn't great. So let's do this. In different order. So if I do this now, my solution would be almost the same, but I just need to fiddle the getters and setters here. So it's not get 0 equals with
should be
different than 1. It's 0 different than 2.
I think, and 0 is equal 1, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm starting to see this kind of code emerge. That's what I'm trying to do. So now, if you start looking at this code, it starts being messy. So
you're right.
What I would like to do is extract the real logic that's behind these hacks here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I could either extract it, or some people would prefer just writing this code, this method here. So I'll do something like so it should be something like a boolean, and the method
and like has 5% discount maybe.
Yeah. And I receive the this one, the collection of books. And what I need to do is to cycle, right? I prefer using lambdas, but
yeah, you can go ahead and do it. In the worst case, you're gonna revert everything. So. Let me remember how to do that. I think stream, maybe. What you need to do right now, because I don't understand what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So this Then what is the right way? Collect? Is it collect? My knowledge with Java streams is very limited.
Yeah, but that's fine. Just tell me what you want to do.
So I just want to say if you to check if you have two books that are like 1 and 2, or yeah, like two books that repeat.
Okay. So maybe something like distinct or something like that. Maybe I think you're right. This can be in the collect things.
I don't know, collect or filter.
I think it's distinct. After sim, you use distinct, and then you use the collect to get all the back. So you don't need the filter at all.
Okay. So distinct.
And that use the collect. So you're gonna collect it to a list, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let me remember.
List.
No, how was this? It was different.
Or you can use something really simpler than that. You put the content of the array list in a, like let's say a map or something like that. Yeah, go ahead with the.
So I could do that, right?
Yeah, right. Yes. And this one, you're gonna check the size. If it is 2, it should okay. If it is 2, it should be should give you that.
Mm-hmm. So this is part has 5% discount, right?
Yeah.
So if I would use it here, no, not here.
Yeah, you can use it there if it is.
No, but this is without discount.
Yeah, that one is without discount. So
here.
Yes. Here.
So I would use it just in one place again.
You're right. That's what I'm gonna try to say. So try it with one place, and if it is work, we're gonna spread it in every way. Okay, so
apparently it works. So if I want to be very correct, extracted method
has 5% discount.
Okay. So because here it's a bit more complicated.
You're right.
We have it has 5% discount when
but the thing is that's really nice because we can use the function right here. So we know that when we have a book size of 3 and we have only a 5% discount, they're gonna behave that way. So we don't need all these big checks and everything. So we are starting to get a pattern here. So it can be nice.
So it should be like that, right?
Yeah. You need to add the books.
Yeah, of course.
Argument too.
Thank you.
Right.
I just got carried away.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so let's try it that way. Yeah. Oh, good. Now it's working.
So
it's
now this
of...
code is duplicated, so I could just remove it.
Yeah. So right now, when I see that, what matters the most is two things. If we have a discount and the number of the book that we have.
Another interesting thing is that I could do this.
Right.
It should work.
It will not work.
Oh, yeah, okay. It should not work because I just forgot to write the end, but...
So now it's working, so it's kind of nice. Do that. Do we have another patterns? Don't think so. So actually, we can do another thing if we'd like. So I'd like your opinion about that. The third one that we have the book size equal 3, but we have a 10% discount. Would you like that we create a function for that? Or would you like that we push further for the 5% discount?
I don't know how to push further with it.
Yeah, I think we almost, that's why I'm asking you. So I think we almost covered the 5% discount right now.
What I'm saying is that I have duplication with this and this.
Yep. So that's why
but
maybe we need it.
I don't know how to fix this.
It's about let's say it's about the size of the books.
Yeah, but still, look, if I'm gonna do this is one book price, and this should be books with discount price. This one is the same with this one. So this is why I'm saying that this part is identical with this part. It's just that the size of my stash of books is different.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't know exactly how to fix it now. I don't have enough code. I have an idea how I would do that, but it could be too messy and maybe it would be too soon.
Yeah, okay. So let's go back to how it was before. Okay, what it should be done for that. Okay. What I was thinking actually is we are sure that we have a 5% discount, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, actually, I found another case that we can have 5% discount. So like something like we have 4 books.
Yes.
And we have 1, 2, and 2, 1.
Yes.
For example.
So do you want me to write that test?
Yeah, please.
So buying 4 books with 2 sets will have 2 times 5% discount. That's what we're trying to do. You see, I'm not always writing the name of the test at the end. Here, it's kind of obvious what we're going to do, so that's why. So if I have something like 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah. So it's gonna be 16 multiplied by 0.95 plus 16 multiplied by 0.95. You can refactor it if you'd like.
Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Okay. So in order to make this pass, I could again hack it.
Right. Go ahead.
Let's run the tests.
I know it's not the best way to do it, but that's fine.
Of course, yeah. I think we all know that, but still.
Yeah.
I can commit this.
Yep.
Oops. Not there. So we have this. Now the question would be if we could refactor this into this would be my let's check it out. So if the book size is 4 and has 5% discount, then it should be this. Will this work? Drums beating.
Yeah, I think it should.
Me too, but
I think it should, but yeah, I think it should.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a pattern that we found. So.
Yep.
Because if you change another book, you're gonna get another discount. So that's why we are almost.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, if you try with 1, 2, 1, 1, what we get.
So let's try it out.
Yeah, so that's the next test actually. Buying 4 books with.
So 1, 2.
1, 1.
1, 2, 1, 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I won't have discount.
You will have a 5% discount, but one time. And you're gonna have only one set of books, maybe.
Yeah.
So buying 4 books with one set. Give you. And then okay, 16 multiplied by 0.5 plus 16.
Exactly.
So in this case, how we do it? Because
it will go through here. It won't have 5% discount, or it will.
It will, but
and it will give us this price, right?
Right.
Because here we're collecting, and we want to have 2 books that aren't the same.
So what we should do in this case, maybe so it will not be a boolean. Maybe we need to change the function that it gives us the number of sets.
This one, you mean?
Yeah. Yes. So
if I would need to do something like collect Now this is
actually what I was thinking is what we collect, we put it in another in an array list, and we remove this element from the books.
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
we retry to see if we have another set of books.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is how we can do it if you have yeah.
So, well, this is what we collect, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is a set.
Yeah.
One set, or I don't know if it's one set. Is it just one set? This isn't.
I think, yeah, we are sure about it's a one set.
It's array list, or what is this?
Put it list. Actually, only list.
It's
list
a list
of integer, and that's all.
It's a list. It's a list of integers. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know why it's bothered by this. Oh, because I have the same name. Okay.
The same name.
Find 2 books set. Okay, so this is a one set.
Right.
So you're saying to return this, and then
actually not in that way. Actually,
okay.
what I was thinking is we found the one set.
Mm-hmm.
So we remove that set from the list of books.
So books, remove all, like that.
Yeah, and then we are returning, let's say, the thing is when we are removing that set, we can check the books another time to find if there is another set or not.
Is this a list again?
Yeah, it's
not a list.
Actually,
it's
you don't
Boolean.
need it. Maybe because it's gonna, yeah, that's the thing that I don't like it, because we're gonna modify the list of the books itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, so
oh come on, Java, why? Oh yeah, so it's saying if it removed. Oh really? Can't we do it in a nicer way?
that's why I was thinking. So what do you think about that? How we can do it in a nicer way?
Make a copy of it, but it's...
Yeah. Okay. And go ahead.
So books copy. How do you make a copy?
I think you create a new array list of that stuff.
No, how is it?
There is something, maybe the clone function. I'm not sure if it is implemented in the case of the array list.
So where should I check this? In
you take the books and then books
copy of.
Yeah, copy of. Go ahead. Books.
Okay. So then. Yeah. So these are books left, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remove that set, and then I can return something like
Yeah, so the thing is, when you remove that set, yes, actually, that's what I was thinking. And also, I'd like to put some kind of accumulator or something like that to get how much sets do we have with 5% discount. So when we remove one set, we need that accumulator to there, and so we return that accumulator. That's going to be an integer or something like that. They're going to show us how much set do we have.
But here it's gonna be obvious just one, right?
Yeah, the thing is, what I was actually thinking is it will not return a boolean. It's going to be return the number of sets. We can use the recursive stuff about that. So, and then go ahead. And then what we're going to return is has 5% discount. So we are using the recursivity plus the number of sets. See what I mean?
Yeah, but so you just want to create a data structure, right?
Okay.
That's what you're saying. Isn't it a bit too much?
Maybe, yes. Maybe it's a bit too much for the moment.
For the moment, yeah, that's what I'm saying, for this step. Because I feel like we're already trying this for a while, and if you do this for too long, it's going to get you into a rabbit hole, and then...
Yeah, that's fine, because you know, if you do this stuff right now and then we run our test and it doesn't work, we're gonna that, you know, the slap in the face that is gonna revert everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's really the nice thing about the TCR. But yeah, you're right. So
that's what I'm trying to minimize these steps in order to not do that. Until now, we have never reverted unless I just wanted to show something. So I think that care of trying to always be on green helps a lot, and you have that care if you take small steps.
Yeah. So that's why that's one of the things that I was thinking about is maybe a constraint of time can be helpful in this case.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't try it actually, but maybe 2 minutes is too hot if you are using the baby steps, but like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 minutes can be really helpful to stay in that standard, and we don't do something, let's call it with the term that we are using, it's an over-engineering what we are doing right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it makes sense to have this kind of time. For me, I start being a bit anxious if I'm not progressing, but not everybody's like that. So
the thing is, actually in my case, what I hated the most is like when I'm not running the test, it's like swimming with a blind and blind at the same time. So I don't see what is gone. I'm not sure if I'm doing well and every stuff. So the test is really some kind of anchor or something like that, some kind of surface that I can use to go from point to point. It's kind of a checkpoint thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What should we do right now? Should we revert everything?
No. Let's try to learn from this and make it work. Right. For me, it was 2 bigger steps, so I'm a bit confused where we are, but we can try to make the best of it and see what we can do. So we were focusing on this test, where I have two sets. So the idea would be if we have and let's make it a bit simple. Has two sets of 5% discount. Right, and then I'm gonna no, it doesn't. No, it wasn't two sets. It has just one set.
Two sets. Yeah. But maybe we need that function.
I think we need that, but not now. Here it was. So I do have one set discount, but also I need to call this.
Yeah, we need to find the two. Yeah, it should be, yes, you're right. It should be Boolean. So this one should be false.
So what would this need to tell us? I take this. I have the books left.
And then the books left. We're gonna return that the books left. Calling with the distinct and every stuff, they're gonna get us a set for books, actually.
What if we do this?
Yeah, I think it's not a good idea.
Okay.
Why? Because if you do it with the size, we are not sure that the books left is one set or not.
It's true. Yeah.
So that's why I proposed that we go back with the stream and distinct. And
so we do this.
The collect. I know it's a bit heavy in this case, but.
Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, okay.
So
and
the
this
size
one
should be 1. I think. Yeah. Okay.
1, not 0.
1. Yes, it should be 1 because we need. I'm not sure. It should be 0, 1.
So what it's saying is.
No, excuse me. It's gonna be 2. Not
2
1.
because they're distinct things. Yes, this is what I was thinking.
Two different things.
It was either 2 either 0. Yeah.
Maybe we get something that is really weird about the size.
Wait. So from the books left, it's the copy of books. But we didn't remove those.
Yeah, we didn't remove. Right. One set, you're right.
Okay. And now why is this complaining? It's on object. Why is it not on object? Books left. Is it missing this? Yes.
I think yes.
So you didn't.
And also you need to do it for the one set also.
For one set.
Okay, so I think it should be good. And try to do it. So find 2 sets. Oops.
Yeah, so the name is bad here.
Yeah, but we can do it later.
Yeah, exactly. So now here I need to do what?
I think
I have a set.
Yeah. In this case, we are. You agree with me that we are testing Yeah, but it shouldn't find two books, two sets of books. So it should be not find two books of set. That's the first thing. The other one is for the condition that is before, that you use it for the other test, we should add the find two book set condition, because when we run the test, it's gonna enter the condition that before, not this one that we defined.
So
Yes,
sorry,
that one.
So what do you want me to do to move this?
I'd like you to yeah, you can do it that way. That's fine too. Yeah, we can go ahead that way. So
okay, fingers crossed.
I hope it's gonna work.
Nope.
Oh, nope. Unsupported operation. What's that?
But that's interesting.
Oh, what? That's really weird.
What? Only these two? What's wrong with you? So I didn't expect this to fail from this reason. Immutable collection. Oh, for remove.
Yeah. So
I cannot remove because it's immutable.
That's really good. Okay. So what do we do in this case? Do we revert?
Yes, we revert.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing that is frustrating with TCR. So
yeah,
we were almost there,
but I think it pushes you to make smaller steps. In a way, it's extremely frustrating, but I think in another way, it brings many lessons into simplifying. So let's try again. If I wanted to have this and this, right? 4 books with one set. We'll have
1 time 5% discount.
So that's what the test is. And we want to do something around here. So first of all, we have 4 books.
Yeah. And then we have 5% discount, but it's gonna be 1 time.
I'm wondering if this would work. Just like that.
Okay. Ah, nice one. Yeah, you're right. I think it's gonna work.
It's silly, but
yeah.
It's just, again, a hack, but I think this should work. It's right. It's plus 16, yeah.
You need, I'm not sure it's gonna run because you need an argument to the discount. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Again, I got carried away. Also, these constraints need to make a bit of sense. Like with the TCR. No, it doesn't.
Doesn't work. Okay.
Are going
yeah,
back.
the thing is, yeah, because
So buying 4 books with 1 set. Have
that's why like I said before, in our case when we've been working, we added that red phase because we can create our test, we are sure about the test, so we can only work on the production. That's the thing that I don't like about the original the original one that Ken Beck said about it is making 2 things in the same step.
Yeah.
2 different things in the step. So every time you fail, you need to revert everything and go back to the test and redoing maybe your test. That's the thing that I don't like it. So how we should do that?
So the idea would be that, well, in somehow, let's just put here some function. Somehow this is a list. So in somehow I would need to see that something like it has this 5% discount, which is true.
Yeah.
So I would say if it has 5% discount, then I'd like to remove it from the books.
Yeah.
And then see again what's left, right?
Right.
So if I do this, this should should be a list.
This one is 1 set. I think that's 1 set. And then from there we remove we do books that remove all of that set.
That that didn't work with removing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think we tried with a copy, so maybe with the original one.
You think?
I know it's not really good to do that, but let's try it.
So if I would remove this, then again
I should have a 5. So we return the book a half 5% discount with the books.
So
right?
I do this. Wait, and it should be something like that, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Yes. I think that's for the first case. So, but you need a bit of a hack to do it. So you need to move. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead that way.
Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed.
I'm not sure it's gonna work.
Yeah, me too. Like.
Good. It works. Nice.
Of course, this is a hack again.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't commit and refactor.
Yeah. You're right. I know it's ugly, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We're actually creating some kind of legacy right now. So.
Of course. I think that's what everybody does in the first 15 minutes of writing code, starting creating legacy. Okay.
So what should we name that function?
What is now doing, or what we wanted to do, because we could always also try to make here nicer and then rename it. But I think basically we'd like it to tell us recursively how many sets we have.
Yes, how many sets with 5% discount?
Yeah.
Right?
Because
so,
this is saying it has 5%, but this should be something like number of 5% discount.
yeah, you're right. So so how it should be, so that's why we need some kind of counters, maybe
Yeah.
like a number or something like that we define at 0 for starting, and then every time we remove a set, we add a +1.
So now we have 0.
And then when we remove, it's gonna add 1. Yeah. And then it's gonna return that number plus calling the function with the books left. Right?
That number plus calling
plus the number of 5% discount for the left books.
So how do you do that?
It's gonna be number of discounts plus number of 5% discounts with the books. Yeah, it's gonna call the same function, yes, the books.
Like that.
Are you
in a set, in a collection, you mean? This is what you'd like to do?
No, actually it's gonna return a number, so it's
okay.
gonna be so right now the number 5%, yes, it's gonna return an integer or something like that. And
so
that's all.
How does this help me?
So you're gonna check if it is 2 in our case. So we get 2 sets. Sounds good. Sounds good to you?
But the number of 5% discounts here is just 1.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, yes. Put 1, I didn't check it, so you're right. You're right. You're right. Go ahead. Are you comfortable with what I said?
Yeah, but I just don't think it's right. But you are right, it is right, so I'm wrong. Yeah, okay. Now, would this be... Should,
yeah, that's... Yeah,
should
right.
this work
that's
here?
What I'm gonna say. Should work.
Nope.
It doesn't work. Okay, unsupported operation to remove. Oh yeah, okay.
So let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back. Let's do a commit.
Right.
And let's see what's wrong with this. So it says something with remove.
I think the remove all is gonna remove all the sets that's gonna find. So maybe it's gonna be remove 1. I think you get a function that is called remove 1. Check if what you have a function in the books thing, but I think that's the case. Or maybe remove.
Just remove, yeah.
Just remove. So the remove all, maybe it removes all the sets. So that's why it doesn't work. You can check and then.
Yeah, so it works for the previous case. And now let's try this with 2.
Please work. No.
Stack Overflow. Yay! Typically, this is a sign that we've been pairing for too long.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when you're start doing these things, it means probably that you need to take a break. Okay, so let's discuss a bit about what we've done today with TCR. Do you want to start? Or should I start?
Okay, so I start. The thing is about TCR, like I said, but I didn't like it. It's like doing too many things at the same time. So usually when you try to pass the test, you're always thinking, hey, I should revert everything. So going back to creating the test and then going to create the production code to make it pass. Actually, I don't like the idea because we don't have a checkpoint to see, hey, I'm self-confident about the test, so I can move to the production code and try to do the production code. So that's the stuff that I'm not really comfortable with when we are doing that stuff. And the basic idea of TDD actually is splitting, making your brain doing one thing at a time. So that's why, like I said before, I like the idea of making two phases. One that we call it, let's call it the red phase. We try only to create the test. We can iterate in the test if we'd like. If we would like some good message about the test, something naming the test, or maybe changing, but we stay in that and we only touch the test in that red phase because we are in the middle of creating the test. And then when we move to the production code, we move to what we call the green phase. And in that phase, we need to pass the test that already we created in the red phase. Also, in the green phase, we can iterate. The first one is going to be make it pass. The second iteration, it can be refactoring, redesigning of the code or something like that. And in every phase that we do, in the red phase, if you run your test and it's green, you revert. In the green phase, if you run your test and your test is red, you revert. See the thing?
Yeah, I think for me it wasn't that much of an issue because I'm used to having that small tests that it's just not bothering, and I try always to make this hack to make the test pass. So I'm sure that I make the test pass in the worst possible way that you can, but it doesn't matter. Meaning I'm not trying to make it in the worst possible way, but typically to make a test pass you need to do some hacks. So that's why for me that's not that big of an issue. Although when you start having more complex tests, it starts being an issue.
Yeah, you're right. The thing is, in my case, what I see is like switching context when you switch from file to another, so or from the test to production code. Like you said before, if you are using TDD as your unit, so you get the production and the test in the same file, that's fine. I think we can do it that way. But if you are use different files, actually when you are working, you are not really using TDD to learn something or stuff. It can be an issue because at some point you're gonna say, hey, should I try to modify that file or the other one? And then see, switching context is really dangerous for developers. So yeah, I agree with you.
True.
In a case that you are in complex environment, when you are working really on something, really on production or something like that, it can be really hard to do it.
Yeah, it's true. So and it's I think something that TDD taught people is taking small steps and trying to minimize that inherent complexity that you have in a production environment. And now if you want to bring back some unnecessary environment, it will just ruin the whole concept.
Yeah. Actually, the thing also, we didn't try it, but maybe I will try it with some of my colleagues. Like I said before, something with the red phase and the green phase, and also with some time constraint, because if you remember well, at some point we got too much on the design. We took so much time and we didn't go back to check. And then we reverted what we did actually.
Yeah.
So that's why usually you get also that pattern in TDD every time you put a test. At some point, the time that you're gonna take to make the text and the production code is gonna be larger and larger. So that's why I like the time constraint. Not too much, not too less.
Yeah.
2 minutes is, I think, it's too much.
Yeah, it's too short. It's for sure. I think you need something that's manageable, but still it can force you to start doing something and not just trying to figure out to be everything have everything perfect.
Yeah.
Because you can make the test pass and then make multiple refactoring steps.
Yeah, you're right. That's it can be in that way. Also, the other things that I'd like to try, maybe I tried with one of my colleagues also, how TCR will work if you are doing something with BDD, something like TDD double loop, how it's gonna affect the biggest loop. The smaller loop, we already seen it in this SCADA, but the bigger loop, how it's gonna affect it.
Yeah,
that's the stuff that I'd like to try. That's
something to try for sure. That's maybe you can try next time or see if you want to continue on this. But yeah, it's something that would be interesting to see. I think it changes in a bit how you behave in a double loop. Probably it affects also the big loop in a way. I'm not sure exactly how.
Yeah, I think we should try it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think this was interesting for me. It was very well, it was different. We struggled a bit from the times, which is good. I think you learn from these things. This idea of trying to simplify, always come with the simplest production solution is always helpful. Even in production, I think if you can do that, if your code needs to remain like that, very stupid and simple, maybe you just didn't put enough tests and it's a sign that you didn't put enough pressure on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the question, do I need to add more tests, has a very clear answer: yes, if the code is like that. But I think we focus more on the method today than the kappa itself.
You're right about that. The only dangerous stuff about TCR that I already seen is some people, they're gonna try to make, because they have the same phase of testing and production code, they're gonna try to make green tests, and sometimes these kind of tests, they will not give a value. So it's like running a test that you know that is gonna pass.
Yeah,
that's the dangerous stuff about that.
Yeah, it could be dangerous because you're just creating
false tests.
Yeah, or just inventory tests that aren't that useful. Tests that are just noise.
Yeah, actually, usually when we were using TDD at some of the team that have been working together, that if somebody writes a green test directly, you need to pay something to the others.
Yeah, that's a good one. But you know, sometimes this is a good sign that you have a green test. Sometimes.
Yeah, because
just a few times.
You're right about that, because you are in the good way to the best solution for your problem.
Exactly. So it's a sign that, hey, I'm there. I'm on a good path. I'm almost there.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's right also.
But that's an exception. Right. So I think the rule is good. There are these exceptions though. Okay, so it was very fun pairing with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Eddie, for your time and for inviting me.
Sure. Thank you. And yeah, as always, until next time, have fun coding.
Yeah, thanks.